Let's talk about Twitch for a minute, shall we? Because I've been talking a lot about myself lately, but I feel like I've said everything I want to say, and I want to use this channel more regularly because I think I want to become like maybe not a regular YouTuber, but I want to use this channel to express my thoughts. I'm not going to bother trying to monetize it because I just want to express my thoughts without having to worry about the advertising censor, and that actually relates somewhat to this video. So I was watching Keppel's streams about her doxing by Kiwi Farms and how she just like completely dominated Joshua Moon and took out that website in such a beautiful way. And she started talking about how she was banned from Twitch for 30 days for what was it? Oh yeah, she was streaming about Kiwi Farms and she showed the slurs as part of the thread. And because she showed those slurs as part of her stream, she was banned for 30 days. And it kind of just prompted me to make this video to just make this central point. Twitch is fucking ridiculous. Can we just stop and think about this for a minute here? Twitch is the largest streaming platform in the world. It's what people go to make their names famous. And it is governed by these ridiculously Byzantine and bureaucratic rules that just make no sense, are infrequently enforced, and worst of all, you have no recourse against if you violate them. You can get banned for saying like I don't know, unicorns are fucking stupid. Now, you're probably not going to get banned for saying that, but you could. And because Twitch is a private company, you really can't do anything about it if you get banned. Because, like, oh, well, it's free speech. They're a private company. This is the problem with capitalism, okay? Like, when you rely on these private companies like Twitch to be your voices, your platforms, you run into the possibility of, like, a handful of private individuals dictating things, unfortunately. And that's literally everything that's happened so far. I mean, like, so much of our world has been damaged because of Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. Twitter's, like, decisions, like the tone of Twitter's public discourse was set for a long time by Jack Dorsey's personal whims or the whims of his moderation team. This is not good, people. It's not good that, like, Twitch is what you need to use to make yourself famous as a streamer, and yet you can get banned for the most arbitrary of excuses, and Twitch users just have to like jump through all these hoops and play all these weird guessing games in the hopes that they don't get banned. It kind of summarizes like the problem with the information age and capitalism in a nutshell, in my opinion. And the worst part is that like under the United States, you can't really do anything about it. That's one of the reasons that I advocate for its dissolution, because the First Amendment is something that's very precious to us historically, and that's often been used to protect a lot of marginalized groups. But at this point, the absolute interpretations of the First Amendment are holding us back behind other countries. For another unrelated example, we still have graphic health warnings on cigarette packs because cigarette companies have sued the FDA and successfully gotten them stopped under the First Amendment. We can't regulate what these companies do because of the First Amendment. We basically can't tell Twitch they're being fucking stupid and that they need to like treat people more fairly on regulation rules because of the First Amendment. Now, don't interpret this video as me saying that we should get rid of the First Amendment or the concept of speech. Or no, let me rephrase that. We should get rid of the First Amendment because we should break up the United States and replace it with better countries. But we shouldn't get rid of the concept of freedom of speech. It just needs to really be more in line with like the European or the Canadian standard. And even beyond that, even those countries need to start thinking about like regulating these companies in such a way that they can't just like arbitrarily decide what is and isn't appropriate and ban people from like massive platforms. Like Facebook literally only has an arbitration team because they decided they need one. Facebook is still convinced that it's like a force for good. These companies are huge problems, and it's a huge problem that like anybody who uses them has to follow all of their little idiosyncratic rules and has no way to fight back if they are, caught in the bureaucratic loophole. You get banned from Twitter or YouTube, and you could just not be able to talk to anyone because there's so many Twitter users. This is not good. This is not a good way to run a society, and it sure as hell is not a good way to run platforms that people rely on to make a living. So yeah, Twitch is ridiculous, and the fact that people have to use it to make a living is ridiculous, and the moderation team, so-called moderation team of it, are like either really incompetent or so overworked that they are effectively incompetent. So yeah, fuck Twitch.